Hey, good morning. Happy Monday. Hope you're all doing well and getting your week kicked off great. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Vince, part of the Unedited Life staff. And I want to get on here every Monday to either give some motivation or a challenge to kind of live out of your identity as a child of God. Today, I want to start at kind of the beginning of New Creation You. And that was at the resurrection. And so I want to read real quick Luke 24, 1 through 8, and then just briefly talk about that for a second. So we'll get started into that. Very early that Sunday morning, the women made their way to the tomb, carrying the spices they had prepared. Among them were Mary Magdalene, Joanna, and Mary, Jesus' mother. Arriving at the tomb, they discovered that the huge stone covering the entrance had been rolled aside. So they went in to look, but the tomb was empty. The body of Jesus was gone. They stood there, stunned and perplexed. Suddenly, two men in dazzling white robes, shining like lightning, appeared above them. Terrified, the women fell to the ground on their faces. The men in white said to them, "Why would you look for the living one in a tomb? He is not here, for he has risen. Have you forgotten what he said to you while he was still in Galilee? The Son of Man is destined to be handed over to sinful men to be nailed to a cross, and on the third day he will rise again." All at once they remembered his words. Absolutely love that. When they appeared and they started talking to the women, that they said, "Why would you look for the living one in a tomb? It doesn't make any sense to look for him there, because he was resurrected. He's alive. He's living again." And all at once they remembered what he had said. And that's kind of the thing that I have to do often, is remind myself and remember what he said. Remember that he's alive. I have to remind myself that the breath of life that was breathed into him at that moment was the same breath that was breathed into me, and I had become a new creation. That was the moment that all the pain and suffering that he endured on my behalf and yours was brought around, and we were made new creations in that moment. And how often do you have to remember that for yourself? How often do you need a reminder of who you are as a child of God, who you are as a new creation? That's that moment of all at once they remembered his words. So how often do you need that all at once moment to remember his words, to remember who you are? And if it's not often, hey, that's great. But, God in his love is always going to be there to remind you when you need that boost to remember you are a new creation. You are his child, and you have access to him. No matter what's happening, you have access. And I love that. And it just leads my mind in so many different directions, thinking about his goodness and his love, and how if I screw something up or sin, whatever, it's not counted against me. It's not something that's held against me. All I have to do is just turn back to him. Just turn back to him, because I don't have to turn and pursue him. I don't have to turn and run to him, because he's right there. He's always right there waiting for you. So just turn back to him, come back up higher, and rest in his love. Just remember he's alive, and so are you. You are alive. You are a new creation who is an eternal being. And that's exciting. You have to remember these things. You have to remember that you were brought into that first person view of the resurrection. Don't look at it as you're watching it unfold from the outside. You get to watch the stone being rolled away from the inside, because you were made part of the resurrection. You were co-resurrected with him. That's what I want you to remember this week. Keep in mind that as a new creation, you're alive with him. You have that same breath of life breathed into you. You get to see the stone rolled away from the inside. That's what you got to see. You watched it from the inside. So take that with you this week. Be encouraged. Remember who you are and remember whose you are. All right. Have a great week.